the moment Victoria stepped into the restaurant. She wasn't expecting to witness a man's entire world collapse between the quiet clinking of silverware and the fading light through the windows. She had only come for dinner after a long week of board meetings and decisions that affected hundreds of lives. But there he was, sitting near the far corner table, his shoulders finally relaxed in a way she had never seen before, his tired face softened by something rare and fragile. If you were in her place, would you have recognized him? Would you have remembered the quiet man whose name passed your desk like any other file, just another employee number among many? Or would you have walked past him, never knowing the weight he carried every single day? Michael Carter had not taken a single vacation day in 9 years. 9 years of waking up before sunrise in his small apartment in Columbus, Ohio. 9 years of packing school lunches, ironing tiny shirts, and rushing out the door to drop his son off before clocking in at the logistics firm where he worked as a warehouse coordinator. 9 years of watching other employees complain about long weekends and holiday plans while he quietly traded his own days off for overtime pay. Because overtime meant rent. Overtime meant groceries. Overtime meant survival. And overtime meant his son, Noah, never had to feel the absence of the mother who had left them both behind when Noah was only 3 years old. Michael never spoke about it. He never spoke about the night Jessica packed her bags and said she wasn't built for this life. He never spoke about the months afterward when he barely slept, terrified that he wasn't enough for the boy who looked at him with endless trust. He simply worked. Day after day, year after year, Michael became invisible in his reliability. He was never late, never sick, never absent. His supervisors rarely noticed him because there was never a reason to. He was dependable in the quietest, most thankless way. Until one morning he did something different. For the first time in 9 years, Michael requested 3 days off. He sat nervously in the break room while Victoria Reynolds, the regional director, reviewed his file. She was new to the branch, sharp and efficient, known for restructuring operations with ruthless precision. She saw his request, his attendance record, his productivity numbers. But what she didn't see was the story behind them. She saw only a disruption. She denied his request, but Michael didn't show up anyway. Because some moments in life are bigger than fear, bigger than consequences. Because Noah had been waiting 9 years for this day. Now, sitting across from his son in that restaurant, Michael watched Noah's eyes glow with excitement. Noah was 12 now, tall for his age, his voice beginning to deepen. He wore his only dress shirt, slightly too big, but he carried himself with pride. His fingers traced the edges of the menu, but he wasn't really reading it. He was just happy to be there. This wasn't just dinner. This was a promise Michael had made years ago, back when Noah was 6 and had asked why they never went anywhere like other families. Back when Michael had knelt beside his small bed and whispered that one day, when things were better, they would celebrate something special together. Today, Noah had received the letter, accepted into a prestigious academic program for gifted students, full scholarship. Michael had cried in his car when he read it, not because he was sad, but because all those years of sacrifice suddenly meant something. He wanted Noah to feel seen, to feel celebrated, to know that his father noticed every late-night homework session, every quiet moment of resilience. So he took the risk. And now, watching Noah smile across the table, Michael felt peace for the first time in years, until his phone buzzed. He stared at the message from Human Resources, his chest tightening before he even opened it. His hands trembled as he read the words that erased nearly a decade of loyalty in a single sentence. Termination due to unapproved absence, effective immediately. His breath caught. The world around him blurred. 9 years, gone. If you were him, what would you do? Would you tell your child in that moment that everything had just fallen apart? Or would you swallow your pain and protect their happiness for just one more night? Michael forced himself to smile. He refused to let Noah see his devastation. Across the restaurant, Victoria watched him carefully now. She hadn't recognized him at first, but something about his face stirred a memory. She glanced again at the employee profile she had reviewed earlier that day, the termination she had signed without hesitation. And then she saw Noah. She saw the pride in the boy's posture, the way Michael leaned forward, listening intently, fully present in a way that no man burdened by selfishness ever could be. She saw love, real, sacrificial love. And suddenly the file in her mind transformed. It wasn't numbers anymore. It was 9 years of birthdays missed, 9 years of silent endurance, 9 years of a father choosing responsibility over relief. Victoria remembered her own father then. A man who had worked double shifts to give her opportunities she never appreciated until he was gone. Her chest tightened with something unfamiliar. Regret. She approached their table slowly, her heels quieter than usual, her authority suddenly feeling heavier than ever before. Michael looked up, confusion flickering in his tired eyes as recognition dawned. She saw the fear there. Not anger, not resentment, fear of losing everything. Victoria realized then that leadership wasn't just about efficiency. It wasn't about policies or metrics. It was about people. It was about understanding the invisible battles they fought every single day, and she had failed him. She had reduced his life to a checkbox. She had forgotten his humanity. In that moment, Victoria made a decision that would change both their lives. The next morning, Michael received a call he never expected. His position wasn't just restored. It was elevated, flexible hours, increased pay. Support he had never dared to ask for, but more than that, he received something even more powerful: recognition. For the first time in 9 years, someone saw him. Months passed, and Michael's life slowly transformed. He was present for Noah's milestones. He smiled more, he breathed easier. Victoria changed too. She stopped seeing employees as replaceable parts and began seeing them as stories, as families, as sacrifices. Because sometimes, the strongest people are the quietest ones. The ones who endure without applause. The ones who carry entire worlds on their shoulders while asking for nothing in return. And sometimes, all it takes is one moment of understanding to restore a life that was on the brink of breaking. Before this story ends, I want to ask you something from the heart. Have you ever felt invisible despite giving everything you had? Comment, "I see you," if you believe no sacrifice should ever go unnoticed. Because you never know who is silently fighting for their family, their dignity, their hope. And if Michael's story moved you, if it reminded you of the power of kindness, second chances, and seeing the humanity in others, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Only if it truly touched your heart.